Do you still have the flyer that I sent to you?
Yes. Hey, everybody. How you doing this evening? Welcome to another episode of the Lady Sound for Wonder Lowe. I'm your host, Wonder Lowe. We have a great show lined up for you tonight. I have a wonderful guest with me. I always want to say here in the studio, so we're going to just say it anyway. Here in the studio, although we are actually broadcasting, of course, from the comfort of our own homes. Thank you all so much for tuning in each week and supporting the show. I took last week off because it was election night. So let's go ahead and just talk about election night, honey. We have a new president, and our vice president looks like us. So if you haven't celebrated, please do. You can commence celebrating right now. If you want to get up and dance around the room and shout, do whatever you want to do, go ahead and do that. I know a lot of people are not happy about the new change, and that's fine. It is what it is. You know, somebody else famous said that it is what it is. So we're going to say it also. But we have somebody new in the White House, hopefully that will be a president for all people and not just a few people, that will represent us all well, that will take care of the business at hand, and that'll get our country back on track. Now, we know as well as anybody else knows that the president cannot do this by themselves. The vice president cannot do this by herself. This is going to take everybody doing their part. A lot of people have expressed a lot of disappointment in what the outcome of the election. Again, it is what it is. We cannot change that. We're not going to change that. The American people have spoken, and we do have new people in leadership. So if you are saying that you're a Christian and you pray for the last president, then of course you need to be a Christian and pray for this one as well. And just like, you know, most people won't admit, but I'll admit, I prayed for the last one because that's the leader of the country and that's the person that was in charge. But I also pray for this one because we want things to get to a point, and I don't want to ever say get back. That back word, we want to lose that word altogether. I don't want to do anything again. I don't want to get back to normal. I don't want to do anything that requires us to go backwards in any form or fashion. So moving forward, we have to be more positive. We have to love one another. We have to be more understanding. We have to learn about diversity. We have to understand that this world is not made up of one kind of persons or people. It's made up of a multitude of many. So we have to get a mindset of being able to take care of ourselves, being able to take care of our neighbors, and to be kind again. You know, one of the things that I do, I said again, to be kind, not again, but be kind. That we have to going forward. We have to look at those things and to make sure that we take care of each other. Now, as always, we give you the housekeeping things. If this is your first time watching us tonight, I appreciate you tuning in. If you're coming back after watching for the last couple of years, I appreciate you also. If you have not liked my page, which is Wonder Lowe, it's the Lady Sounds with Wonder Lowe on Facebook, please go over now and like the page, follow us. Working on trying to get better at posting on a daily basis and making sure that you get some updates on different things going on. Also, if you are not yet a subscriber on our YouTube channel, go over to that. And also, it's the Lady Sound for Wonder Lowe on YouTube. I need to grow my subscribership on that platform. So please like the page tonight on Facebook. Like us also, we're on Instagram, and everything is under the Lady Sound and Wonder Lowe. So if you visit Instagram, you go to Facebook, if you go to YouTube, it's the same thing. Like or subscribe to all those channels because we're trying to grow our viewership, our listenership, and our participation. How about that? So go across all three of those social media platforms and like and join those pages. The other thing is, if you're interested, if you are a writer, if you're someone promoting either a book you just written, or if you are a small business owner in the area and you'd like to come on the show and promote your business, please get in contact with me. My email address and everything is on my page. If not, you can always email the ladieslounge1050@gmail.com and get more information. I do have a special package that I'm offering small business owners, writers, whoever you are. If you have a small business, if you're a chef and you want to promote your catering business, we'll try to help out all small businesses promote. If you are a nonprofit and you want to come on the show and talk about your events or your ideas, or you're promoting something, then let me know about that as well. But we want to make sure that we kind of start broadening our horizons as we go into 21. We want to make sure that we're reaching a larger audience. Y'all have to put my glasses back on because I squint when I don't have them on. So Let me put them back on so y'all can see my eyes better. But to broaden our viewership in the coming year, I want to reach out and get speakers from across the United States. I mean, if you're in another state and you're watching this and you know somebody who would be great for the show, I'm going to be setting up a little, I guess you can call it a little survey here in shortly that you can just go on and kind of put your information in, and I'll make sure I get in contact with that person. So if you know somebody that's interested in being on the show, then please point them in my direction. I'd be happy to talk to them. Trying to think if there's anything else. As always, we are still in the middle of a pandemic. Let's still continue to social distance. Wash your hands. There's something I'm missing, y'all. Wash your hands, social distance. What's the other one? Cover your mouth. It's something else what we're supposed to be doing. Oh, wear your mask. Yeah, make sure you put your mask on. And I think the last couple of shows, y'all, we've had to demonstrate because I keep seeing folks running around with the mask over their mouth. No, cover all of this up. I don't want to see your nose hanging out or your mask or your mouth hanging out. Make sure that you're wearing your mask, you're washing your hands, and you're social distancing. Watch the governor's report today, and of course, cases have grown, and we're getting ready to go into the holiday season, and we're also getting ready to go. We're getting into flu season too, so you're gonna have some double jeopardy kind of things going on. I know that we're all looking forward to the holidays this year, and this will be the first year we're actually celebrating Thanksgiving and Christmas during a pandemic. So that's going to be something totally different for us to deal with. So make sure you tune in next week because we're going to have some people on and we're going to be talking about that. That's a whole nother level of stress that's going to be added to us this year that we didn't have to deal with last year. So make sure you tune in next Tuesday night at 7 p.m. and we're going to be talking about, celebrating the holidays during the pandemic. So make sure you get that information because, hey, this is different for everybody. We have, some of us are also recognizing the anniversary of loved ones passing away. My sister and I lost our mom around November 6th, about 13 years ago. And it's been 13 years, but that doesn't mean it doesn't hurt all the same. So you have a lot going on during the holiday season, aside from, the pandemic, even when that's not going on. So make sure you tune in next week and catch that show. So I think I've hit all of the housekeeping points for tonight. So here, I want to introduce my guest for tonight, and I'm going to have her actually introduce herself in so many ways, but I'm just going to tell you what I know about this woman. This is probably one of the most dynamic people I've ever met. From the very first time I met her up until now, I am always amazed by how she thinks about things, how she processes information, when she's one of those people that if she says, I see something wrong and I want to do something to change it, give her 5 minutes. Give her 5 minutes. Give her a stick of bubble gum, some duct tape, and that's MacGyver. Because give her 5 minutes and whatever it is.
I could accept and take MacGyver.
5 minutes and she will fix whatever it is that she says is a problem. But I am so happy to have Ms. Marthella Johnson with us tonight. Marthella is the executive director. I've given you these titles. I don't know if these are what you use, but I gave it to you anyway. She's the executive director and the founder of No Closed Doors. And I'm going to let her tell you a little bit about herself and tell you about No Closed Door. Take it away, MacGyver.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for that wonderful introduction. Especially the reference to MacGyver, because when I think about myself, I don't think about myself as a, MacGyver could do anything. He could, he could build a bomb, like you said, out of some bubble gum and a wrapper and a safety pin. So yeah. I'm honored to be referenced to MacGyver. I'm a community member, ex-community organizer, current community organizer, a parent, or mother. I'm a mother, I'm a teacher, and just, I carry a lot of titles, and I'm not really a title person. So as far as being the executive director and the founder of No Closed Doors, I look at, because I'm not doing this alone. And so being an executive director and founder, you would think, okay, so I just like jumped out in, but I like to give credit to the team effort. So I'm just a member of the organization, and it's not really an organization. It's just kind of like a group of people who have come together and decided to create a private, for-profit community group that supports development of self-sustainable communities. So that's what No Closed Doors is. It's just a private, for-profit group looking, going into neighborhoods and collecting the children together and teaching them about community sustainability within the people that live in it versus outside of it. So.
Okay, that's good enough. I'm trying to move this over so I can see my questions because I forgot what I sent you myself.
Child, this question list, honey, it had me nervous. Like I said before, I was like, Lord, she finna give me the CNN interview.
Oh my goodness. Not that serious, dog. Not that serious. Okay. Now, you kind of told us a little bit about No Closed Doors. I guess there was the mission in there because you said what it was for.
No, because I got ready for you. I was getting ready for you, honey. So this is the mission. So No Closed Doors mission is to create a community-supported educational system that sustains the surrounding neighborhood by providing hands-on training of socioeconomic skills, services and products, leadership, and self-sufficiency through independence to youth between the ages of 10 and 15. Okay. That's just me being able to kind of sum it up. There's a lot more that goes into our mission, but the core of it is teaching our children how to create and provide for their community, and then having the community to support them. So that's the overall mission, to be able to educate our babies that way.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I guess, it's something similar to the structure of a community school. Mm-hmm. Only the resources won't come from outside entities, but from the community within itself, from the parents, the neighbors, in support of the youth. So.
Okay. But talk a little bit more about how the program can help the children, because I know you just said it's about educating the kids on how to make a sustainable community. Talk more about how it helps the children.
So basically how our program will be able to assist the children is we help them to acquire the understanding of the importance of how important it is to obtain the ability to feed yourself, feed your family, and then others that live in your surrounding area. We will be working to teach them the value of reciprocity, loving your neighbor and supporting your neighbor through direct action, not just through words and, actions that are not really cemented in something that will grow. Mm-hmm. So teaching them to be hands-on and active in the learning, that's how it helps them. I think for our community, I'm not saying that there aren't programs out there like what we're doing and what we're beginning to develop to do with our community group. Mm-hmm. But I feel like there's a disconnect from our age group or our age group and then the youth of today, where they're not really concerned about community, for real, because their attention is being pulled towards other things. So it's not uncommon for, our children to get up on a Saturday morning and then just like go out into the community, into the neighborhood and trash it. And so there's no group of parents or people that are in our neighborhoods that are saying, hey, we're going to do a neighborhood cleanup. We're going to go out here and clean up what we know that our neighbors are throwing out. We're going to go over here and work in this community garden. We're going to grow this food so that we can eat at home, and also we can share this food with other people that live in the community. I don't see a lot of that going on, especially in the low to moderate income community here in the state of Arkansas. The places are, they're almost desolate. When you're growing up in a low income neighborhood, you really want to grow up and move out of it. Mm-hmm. But the goal would be to learn while you're in that community, to care about it, to build it up, to make it better, and develop it into something greater than what it is. And that's how we will benefit the children that work with our program. Those are the values that we want them to hold, and to have, and to continue to share with others as they grow older and move into adulthood.
Mm-hmm. And it sounds like that would also be something that would help parents, because like you said, if you can get the children involved in something, normally the parents will kind of follow and they'll kind of see that what's going on, and then they want to get more involved. And you're right. Majority of the time when you grow up in a neighborhood where maybe the advantages are not, where there aren't any advantages, or there's very little advantage, you do want to move out of the neighborhood instead of trying, looking at ways to maybe make it better. So I can see how that would really help people in trying to turn around some of the neighborhoods. Talk about some of the activities that you want to do. What are some of the skills? I know we mentioned something earlier about different skills that you want to teach kids, or some of the activities that you want to do. Talk about some of those things that could help people to actually learn how to feed themselves and how to put things back into the communities.
Well, the very first thing that we focus on for me, because when I think about being independent and self-sufficient and then trying to teach and share that, the first thing I think about is eating, right? So if you can eat and provide your own, food, then that kind of frees you up. It gives you like a newfound freedom. So one of the very first activities that we're going to do with our youth is we're going to teach them about soil cultivation. We're going to, work with them on plant health, being able to develop and grow food. And when you plant a seed, you want it to produce at its maximum efficiency. So you want to make sure that you're putting it in that environment that it needs to be in to produce as much as it needs to be able to produce, or more. So soil cultivation, plant health. We're crafters, we are creators. And so, of course, we're going to interject crafting. I think home economics is something that's really important. So many of our children are growing up, they don't know how to even thread a needle. They don't know how to use a sewing machine. They don't know how to crochet or knit, or even just to be able to cut out patterns and to create their own shoes and shirts and pants and different things like that. So we are going to delve into crafting and create things. We also, like I said before, we want to teach them how to develop a food distribution system. So once we are harvesting what we plant in the garden space, we'll be distributing it out into the surrounding neighborhoods, to the needy families and elderly, or anyone in the community that pretty much wants to, partake in sharing that. And we're also going to have, I think it's important for us to create social safe spaces for our children.
Yes.
We often, even with the schools and how they do the dances, and then they have the parties and all of this stuff that happens, is, so for a mother like me who's, overprotective and just, going on my experiences with coming up, going through the public school system and having the interaction and learning the hard way how to socialize. For me, it's important for our children, I feel like, to learn how to socialize and interact with others in a safe space. And so we will definitely be creating social activities where the children can come and they're in a safe space. A few things that, me and the members of the group are kind of throwing around is painting in the garden. And then if we get a good number of artwork from our youth group, we'll do like an art gallery showing where the parents and community members can come out and bid on the children's artwork as a fundraiser, which kind of helps to teach them how to generate and create some things, and then to be able to pull revenue in off of it. Also, we are looking towards having, depending on how I'm trying to work on setting it up, maybe like, like a movie in the garden type evening, or just some social activities where they can come and hang out in a safe space and enjoy themselves. And, there's minimal worry for parents like myself in in them in how they interact or what they'll be exposed to that might traumatize them.
Mm-hmm. I see that sounds good, because like you said, we need more safe spaces in our community for kids to go. And on top of that, they're going to actually learn a valuable skill out of it. Some years ago, I volunteered with an organization, and we used to have what was called, we did like it's similar to a soul train scramble board, but it had fruits and vegetables on it. Okay. And you have to have people to figure out where did the vegetable come from, or how does it grow, or actually what it was. And you would have been amazed at how many kids didn't know what a squash was, how many grown people didn't even know what an eggplant was, or, things. And if you say, well, how would you cook this, or how would you eat this? And they had no idea. So having a space for them to go to not only learn how to cultivate those things, but then turn around and go, okay, here's how you prepare it. Here's how you eat it. Right. Showing those healthy eating habits, man, that can go a long way for a lot of people, because one of the things, now when you say that, you said the first thing you thought about was food. Okay, you know me, I like to cook and eat. So my first thing was the same thing. If you teach people how to grow their food, we can actually be a little bit healthier. Because a lot of stuff that we buy at the stores, it has so many chemicals and so many additives and all this other stuff in it. But if you're actually teaching me how to put a plant in the ground and cultivate that plant to where I actually it bears fruit or bears vegetables, whatever it is, and now I can eat that, that's amazing. And like, you craft a lot, and teaching someone how to construct clothing, how to make a knit cap or how to make some of those things, that's going to go a long ways with giving kids something to do and kind of focusing their energies on something a whole lot more positive.
Yes, something more creative, something that's made from their hands. Not only does crafting and artwork and different things open up that creativity for our children, I think our children are really lacking that ability to tap into that creative part of them, because they're still focused on sports. They're focused on friends and games and different things like that. So they're not really creating. And so I think it's very important that we tap into that creative part of them, because if we don't reach out and open up that creative door for them, then they'll never be able to imagine growing their own food, because it wouldn't be a concept that they could see or think of, because they haven't been exposed to it. So I think that's very important. I think that's what will help them care more about life in general. When I first started gardening myself, I learned so much just about the life cycle and learning about the plants, and then how, reflectively it corresponds with your life, how you care for yourself, how you care for your children, all of that stuff. It's almost like we can really teach our children about life completely through growing food. Even in soil cultivation, you have to prepare the bed, so when they become, we can teach them, when you're ready to plant a seed, when you feel like you're ready to reproduce yourself, you need to make sure that the bed that you plant your seed in is prepared and ready for it. And you need to be prepared and ready to be able to combat whatever illnesses that are going to come upon that, whatever adversity that's going to come up against that plant or that baby or whatever. You understand what I'm saying? So when you're learning about planting and raising, you have to know to raise the plant. And a lot of gardeners, they call their plants their babies, because our plants are really like our children. You can tell a lot about a gardener through the way their garden looks. So if the gardener is not paying much attention to their garden, more than likely they'll still have those same actions and things in their life, and how they move throughout the day. So with the children learning about that, getting into that, exposing themselves to that, opening up the creative part of their mind and their thinking. And then I know that it will help with their character building, and how they move through life differently.
It's a good discipline thing also, because you're looking at, like you said, you can tell a lot by the garden about what the garden looks like. So it's a discipline thing also, knowing how to go out and weed and knowing how to prune things and how to get the best yield out of whatever it is that you're planting. So it does, you're right, it teaches you a whole lot of life lessons. If you talk to an old farmer, and I love my old farmers, and I'm a country person.
You know, we from Arkansas, honey. We all country.
We all country. There you go. You tell everybody that, right? Because you know some of these folks like, well, I'm from Little Rock. No, Arkansas is country, baby. You from the country.
Right.
Every other look at the country. So it doesn't matter. You can be from Little Rock, Fayetteville, wherever you want to be. You're from Arkansas. We are all country. But anyway, if you'll talk to an older farmer, somebody that's been doing it for years, and just see the dedication and the time and the effort that has to be put into it. It's not something that you go into going, oh, I'll just throw these seeds out here and let them do what they want to do. No, you got to really get out there and put some work in it, because you want to make sure that whatever seeds you plant, like you said, you plant it on good ground, that you also want to get in there and cultivate it and make sure it's weeded and make sure it's watered and make sure it's in a sunny spot. You know, it's a whole lot more that goes to it. So it does teach you a lot of discipline when you're doing this. Now, I want you to go back a little bit to one of the events that you talked about and possibly doing is the painting in the garden idea. Now, I thought that was, oh my God, that one sounds so good to me. Talk a little bit about more about how that would work.
Well, what we would do is, of course, it would be during daylight hours or evening hours. We will go into the garden space and erect up easels for the children. Of course, if they can bring their own supplies, you know, that's great. We will offer supplies for some children who don't have any, just to kind of get them started. They can set up in a space where they choose to. They can draw or paint something out of the garden space, or they can just free themselves up, and whatever comes to mind, they can just put it on paper. We'll have nice music playing and going back and forth, and just kind of like a casual setting, just to give them a different vibe as youth. Those are things that even adults like to socialize in nice, settings, relax, and we don't really, for me, when I was growing up, I wasn't really allowed to go out to a lot of the parties and stuff. And I can understand why mom, she was trying to like protect me in that fashion. But there should have been some other alternative for me to learn how to socialize with other children and other people in a setting to where you don't have to be worried if they're going to play the wrong music or play the wrong song. But so there are, I know that I'm sure that there are activities that are out there. I'm not saying that we're coming in with something new or anything like that, just for the space that I'm in and where we are. I think that our children need to have those types of activities to be able to come to. Of course, it'll seem maybe foreign to them because they be like, ain't nobody finna be going over there painting in no doggone garden or whatever. But if we can get like some nice, good music that'll draw them to the space, and they'll come out and just have the opportunity just to express themselves on a canvas, to paint, even if it's, hey, they selling a purple triangle on the white canvas.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So let the babies come out. If they don't do nothing but take a paintbrush and just wipe it across there one time. There you go. Okay, what are we going to call that? What are we going to name it? This is your creation, right? I think that would be something that some children may be able to get into.
Mm-hmm. And I know now one of the things, if there's parents watching, what people are going to think, now, wait a minute, how are we going to do all this during COVID and whatever? I know that there's an answer to that question. So address the question that everybody's going to probably be like, well, how are you going to do all this with COVID going on? How would you?
We're talking, and of course, I know we're going to be taking the pandemic over in the 2021 year, but we always practice COVID sanitary practices. We always make sure that there's masks, there's the 6 feet. If it's, we follow the guidelines, the state guidelines. If there's a group of people that came together, you can be close together, but your group has to be 6 feet away from other people,
Mm-hmm.
And so basically, and then we're limited. A lot of these things will be open to the children in the community to come out and join us, but these activities will mainly be focused and facilitated for the youth that are members of No Closed Doors Youth Group.
Okay.
So we're going to be focusing on our number. So it's a targeted number of 13 to 15 students, which is a small group, and we can space them out, and then we can give them the attention that they need, assist them in picking up the skills that they're having difficulty with, helping them to work through emotional barriers, or helping them to break through trauma barriers to free themselves up, just different things. And so, yeah, with the social distancing and everything, because we're working with a small group of students, we'll definitely be able to keep those guidelines and keep the children separated to a point to where they are safe, because we want all of our babies to be safe.
Okay, I just wanted to go ahead and throw that in, because I know if somebody's watching, and that's one of the questions they're going to have is like, how are you planning to do all of this and social distance, or make sure that we're COVID safe while you're doing it? So you have an event.
Yeah, we're mainly going to be focusing on being outside, versus during the winter months, we will be inside of a building space, but we'll still practice, be sanitary and practice the social distancing rules and guidelines. Yeah.
Okay. Now you have an event that's coming up. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, what our group has been doing is we've been going over to the Promise Garden on 12th and Peyton Street here in Little Rock, and basically taking that space. It's a community garden space, and it's been over there for several years. I know probably more than 10, I'm pretty sure. And so it was kind of up and down, and with everything that's been happening, so it needed some care. So I was like, this will be the perfect space for us to be able to go in, clean it up. We can set it up and train our babies here. We're outside, it's spacious. So we've been cleaning that space up. And currently what we're going to be doing this Saturday is we're calling on people to come out and join us from the community. We're going to build 5 raised beds for the garden space to add grow areas. And we're also working to set that garden space up so it's more welcoming and safe for elders and children.
Okay.
So this Saturday from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m., we're going to be building 5 raised garden beds. I'm getting tongue-tied. 5 raised garden beds.
There you go.
Saturday. We also have a greenhouse in the space. So we'll be continuing to clean the greenhouse out and get it set up and prepped for planting during the colder months. We will also do some trash cleanup and pickup around the outside of the garden space in the perimeter. Just that we're preparing for the 2021 season, because we want everyone to be able to come in and enjoy the space as we create and as we guide our children in creating and turning that garden space into a hub for the youth in the community, to have not just activities of hanging out and doing the regular socializing type thing, but a different type of socializing where you're coming out and you're learning something, and you're having fun while you're doing it. And then this skill that you're learning, you will be able to use within your home and wherever you go.
And see, my imagination and perfect world situation would be the kids come into the program, they learn about gardening, and you suddenly see a burst of gardens across the city that people are learning that, and I tell folks all the time, and we were out riding around the neighborhoods the other day looking at houses, and this person had an entire vegetable garden in their flower bed. And if you can remember I told you that's how I had mine. They had collard greens, honey. They had a whole garden in their flower bed. And I think that one of the misnomers that people think, I'm in the city, I don't have a lot of space, so I can't have a garden. My thing, what I'd love to see, the kids get out of this is you drive by somebody's house and it's a whole garden in the front yard. It's a whole garden in the flower bed. Or even if they have a little patch in the backyard, they can make that. They take those things back that they learn through No Closed Doors and go, you know what, we can have a garden at home.
We would definitely, those are things that we are going to be activities that we're going to incentivize. So through our training, and the different activities that one of the things that we're going to do is encourage the children to grow a particular vegetable at home in their own pot, to log their progress with their plant. You know, it's almost kind of similar to when we were in school and they gave us the egg and we had to take care of the egg. So you take this plant home, it's only a little small seed inside of the dirt, right? But you know what seeds you put in there. You do research on the particular. So say like, and my daughter, my baby girl, she planted a bean in one of my hibiscus pots. So now the bean is growing up and coming up, and she's she's caring for her little bean plant. Always messing with my hibiscus because she put her bean in there. But it's grown up and it's rooted. So I think, once the children that we deal with, they're going to have to do that. They're going to have to grow a full plant from a seed all the way up to fruit producing. And they're going to have to do it at home. And with them having the pictures and everything, they'll have to take photos weekly, or however we plan it out. So they will learn how to grow things at home. And I do believe that once they have grown that first plant, they'll be putting seed in soil forever.
Yeah.
And imagine having your child come home from being a part of a youth group and they're growing tomatoes, squash, cucumber. You understand what they say? I want to grow this, Mama. I'll take care of it, And we, of course, as a group, we're gonna. What do you want? You want to do a little bit more? Let's show you how to, because we'll be building things too. Like, let me show you how to put this wood together so you can create you a little small garden bed outside, so you won't be getting yelled at by dirt all over you, trying to grow something in your room. You know what I'm saying? But definitely, that will be one of the focal points of learning and training with our group. Is you will be growing food at home.
That is wonderful. I am a firm believer of windowsill gardens. So you can grow stuff in any little space. If you can get some sunlight and get a little bit of water on it, you can grow it wherever. And if you have people that are growing I love herbs because I cook a lot and I like fresh herbs. So just having a little herb garden, even sitting in your windowsill, in your kitchen or something, is something just to get started with. And that teaches you, again, how to grow stuff, how to cultivate, watch it, know when it's getting enough sun, know if it's getting enough water, and learning how to take care of it. So I'm looking forward to maybe seeing gardens popping up everywhere, because I think, like you said, once people get those seeds in the ground, especially when you can actually pull something off of it and you actually can eat that bell pepper or eat the squash or eat the tomatoes, it's going to make you be like, wow, I want to grow even more stuff.
That's right. So when you walk out into your garden space, and you can, especially if it's an organic garden, you can pluck it right off the vine and put it right in your mouth.
Yep.
And it gives it has a different taste, a different flavor, and it almost kind of messes you up for store-bought vegetables.
Exactly. And I think that growing up in the country with all gardens, grandparents had gardens, we had gardens, and being able to do just that. I remember when we were small, we grew cherry tomatoes by oh my God, so many of them. We would get a bowl of water, ice water, and walk through the garden and dip them in the cold water, rinse them off, and just eat them straight off the vine. And once you've done that and you've tasted what the real stuff tastes like, it's very hard to go back to anything other than that, because now you get to actually get what the real flavor of that vegetable really is. And it's something that you grew yourself. I was telling somebody a couple of years ago, we were trying to do a project at church similar to, well, wasn't same thing, but like like 5-gallon buckets, like bucket gardens.
Okay.
And I was telling somebody that even if you live in an apartment, if you have a balcony, that balcony gets light, you can have a garden on that balcony. I have a friend who's in the military, and and they lived in apartments for years. She had an entire garden in her 5-gallon buckets on her balcony. And she grew her tomatoes and squash and some of everything else. So it doesn't take a whole big acre of land, and you don't have to have all this big yard or whatever. You can really have some really good stuff growing right on your back porch, right on your windowsill. You know, if you have a small balcony, right on your balcony, get you some 5-gallon buckets, get you some fancy flower pots if you want to make it look pretty, and plant whatever it is that you want to plant and still have your garden. And that way you get that feel for what, number one, growing a plant feels like, and then you get the beauty of it is you get to eat the food. And guess what? It's free.
Even better than that, you learn the chemical makeup of the different type of vegetables. And so what you can do is switch your diet to what you can grow inside during the winter. You know, one thing we will also be educating the children on is how to preserve the food over, you know, to pressure seal it, to pickle it, you know, to you know, whatever you want to do to it, to kind of store it, dry it out, you know what I mean? And to be able, so you'll be able to have food throughout the cold and winter months, and it'll still be fresh, it'll still come from your hands. But for people who, you know, aren't like me, I'm not there yet, you know, I'm working to get there. But I, as a science to it, I will grow foods inside during the colder or winter months that I know are more of a shadier plant. If you're inside and you keep your house at a set temperature, you know, and so when you can give it a little bit of, you know, a little bit of sunlight, you know, so there's a science to it and there's a method to it. So if you learn what the plants need, you probably can grow some tomatoes inside with minimal sunlight. You know, just the science to it. So we're not going to we're going to look at it from a scientific point of view, not just to put the seed in the soil, but what is the seed absorbing from the soil, and what are those things doing to the seed and inside the seed that's causing it to grow and develop the way it is growing and developing. And with that type of knowledge, you will be able to grow things year round.
Okay. Now talk a little bit more about how people can get involved for Saturday.
So Saturday, you can just, we're going to be right there at the corner of 12th and Peyton. You won't be able to miss us. It's just right there, right on the corner of 12th Street. If you would like to make a donation, because we do need donations of items and everything. There's a gift registry. And so you can go to www.myregistry.com/gift list/make good on the promise. So also my phone number is 501-541-1261. You can call me. We are trying to get a general consensus of the number of people that we're going to have there. Refreshments and, you know, water and everything will be provided. Again, it's from 9 to 1. You can contact me. You can just show up. You can make a donation. If you don't want to make the donation online, you can make it in person on that day. Basically, all the donations are going to go towards supporting the 12th Street Promise Garden, making sure that the children have the tools and everything they need to develop that garden into a place that can really feed the community and, you know, and teach them what they need to do. So again, this Saturday, November the 14th, from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m., we will be at 12th and Peyton Street at the 12th Street Promise Garden. I really support that community, this effort, the Promise Garden. You know, as we know, Senator Joyce Elliott, it was her program, the Promise Neighborhood, that then opened the door for the Promise Gardens to be created. So we're helping to make good on the promise of helping our children to be educated from elementary school on up through high school and college, and supporting them by giving them healthy foods. And, you know, like I say, self-sustainability with everything that's going on now. We have to be able to offer alternatives to the community. If the grocery store closes down, how are we going to help our people? You know, or what are we gonna, you know what I'm saying? So if things start, once things start to really get to where, you know, there's no food, we need people to know how to feed themselves. If the government is not going to put forth the support that's needed in the community has to support itself, you know. And so once the community starts to support itself, then it can police itself, you know. It can build itself. It can create that economic system within its community and then raise the community up. And so that's what's most important. And that's the biggest thing that I think I want our children to learn, is how to give into your community through volunteering and receiving the reciprocity of volunteering. So it's not always about getting paid through dollars. It's about taking some time and doing that exchange of time and energy for a greater thing that you get back. And having the ability to put yourself in a position to operate in reciprocity, which is just a balance of energy. If I put my energy into the soil is going to reciprocate my energy by feeding me. Right?
Yep.
If I come into this community garden space and I volunteer my time to help clean it up, I can eat out of that garden. Now I'm feeding myself from that energy that's reciprocating, and you just never know. You might come out to volunteer to assist someone, and because you've put that energy out, your reciprocity could be you meeting someone that's supplying a whole other need that has nothing to do with what you two are in that space doing. So I am a firm believer in reciprocity. I live my life by it. I teach my children about reciprocity, and it's not just reciprocity through people, but reciprocity through things. You know, just giving back to the earth, giving back to society, giving back to yourself. We need to practice reciprocity with ourselves, you know. So yeah, I'm excited about the movements for 2021. Once we finish the 2021 calendar for the No Closed Doors Youth Group, Miss Wonder, I'll make sure that I get you a copy of it and you can post it up. Again, we have 11 slots to fill for the 2021 membership. Give me a call if you're interested in having your children to become a part of our program, to learn some of the things and to participate in some of the activities that we'll have going. My number again is 501-541-1261.
Okay. Go ahead and post those. If you look to the right of your screen, you'll see comments. Post that information in the comments for me. Look at right-hand side of your screen. You see it?
Ciao. I see the chat.
Okay. If you see chat, look right above that. It should say comments. If you post in private chat, then I can get it and I'll post it. But I didn't remember everything. So well,
let me do that because you let me do that because new computer systems and new stuff that's happening. I be trying to figure out what's going on. I'll try to. It says. Okay, so it's okay. All right. I think I got it.
Okay. Yeah, just post it over there for me. And even if you can't do it right now, just before we get off or after we get off, if you'll post it there, that way people can see that information. Because I couldn't type it as fast as you were saying it. So I was like, oh, mess that up. Let her do it. But okay. So we got a couple more minutes left. Talk about some of the things. Are there things that you specifically need donated for Saturday? Okay, you concentrate.
Give me 1 minute. I'm almost done.
Okay.
Okay, there we go.
Mm-hmm.
You know I'm old. Like I'm old. I know we definitely gonna need some addition. We're gonna do a lot of raking, so we'll need some rakes to come out. There's a few items on the registry, and it's just some things that for Saturday.
Do you need plants, or are you working on plants right now? You need material. What do you need? Do you have all your raised beds?
What we do need is we need wheelbarrows because we're going to be moving, dirt and everything. So we do need wheelbarrows. We do need some seed, but after Saturday is when we'll actually be able to use the greenhouse. So yeah, we do need some seed. It's like we have a lot of needs, but because Saturday we're going to mainly be focusing on building the raised beds, setting the space up. Just the manpower Saturday, I think is most important. But if anyone does want to make a donation, if they can't come out, www.myregistry.com.
You can't though. Oh look, I'm trying to type it. Just say it slow.
www.myregistry.com /gift list / make good on the promise.
All right, again. All right, I'm posting it. I was trying to post it in the comments, so if anybody needs to see it, there it is. Okay, get posted.
Yeah, I caught myself posting it up, but I don't see. Oh, okay.
No, it was in private chat. I just changed it over and put everything in the group chat. That way, everybody can see it.
Oh, okay.
So if anybody,
I'm learning something. I'm always learning something from you.
I'm learning something from me too. All right, let's see. We got a couple minutes left. Do you want to tell us anything else about, about the program, or however much you can, whatever help you need? Is there anything in particular that, if people can't make it on Saturday, do you have anything?
If anyone would like to come out and volunteer in helping us in the garden, we are there on Mondays and Tuesdays weekly from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. If we're going to be reaching out, we'll be out there frequently, like I say, and weekly. So if there's anyone that wants to participate or want to give some volunteer time, or they want to come out, give me a call at that number, and we can set up a time. We're going to be reaching out to some of the local elementary and junior high schools to try to bring some activity into that space. If anyone is, again, interested in their children becoming a part of our youth group, we're going to be doing regular neighborhood cleanups out there, cleaning up the trash. And of course, there's even if you want to come out, there's a mural a Black Lives Matter mural that's being painted on the opposite side of the street. And the artist is doing a wonderful job. So he's trying to bring some culture and uplift the neighborhood there. So we want to assist our neighborhood, and also give our children the opportunity to gain volunteer hours and community service hours, which is very beneficial for them in the long run, especially when they're trying to stack their college resume.
Yes.
I do notice that a lot of our children don't have any some of their scholarships require volunteer hours, and they don't have those types of hours. And so our group also opens the door for them to be able to develop that part of their planning their future as well.
That is awesome. Okay. Well, ma'am, I appreciate you being able to come on tonight. Like you said, it's something new. I like you took me. You called me earlier. Where am I supposed to meet you? Online. You do not have to leave the comfort of your own home. That is the beauty of this thing. That now the show is wherever you are. So I appreciate you all. Appreciate you taking some time to come on tonight and talk about No Closed Doors and the awesome stuff you're doing with the youth group. I think that it's going to grow. I think that it's going to catch on. I got a couple of comments. I started a watch part. I'm watching on my phone and I'm doing it online. But one of the people was saying it sounds great. It makes people want to start a new hobby. So you might have a whole bunch of adults that show up.
Hey, the more adults, the better, because we're going to need some help with the youth. Like I love crocheting. Me and my children, we're working on all kind of hats and everything right now, slippers, just different things that we can learn. I'm excited to be able to say even to some of the adults to come out there with me. We'll sit in the garden and just crochet up a storm. We just want to be able to give a different visual and bring a different energy to that space. And not even just crocheting. If there's anyone out there that has a skill that they would like to share with the youth, I think it's important that we be able to pass those skills on. So hit me up. We can, hey, I'll make a space for you. You know what I'm saying? If you have a gift that you want to share with the youth and with anyone, if we can create a space for you to be able to do that, we will definitely do that, because it's important.
Well, I know you've recruited me, and I'm brushing up on my canning skills right now, so I'm having to go back and kind of relearn some things. Yep, I'm brushing up on
quilting. So
yes, I know how to crochet
for those winter months, I need a quilt.
Yes, ma'am. I know how to make quilts.
We need like 6 quilts over here. Everybody needs their own personalized quilt.
I know how to quilt. I learned from some professionals, man. I'm talking about the old women that sit in the house in the wintertime with the horses and the quilt pulled tight, and you had to go under there and do the tacking and stuff. So yeah, we did the real quilting back from in Dumas and Gould, Arkansas, honey. We was real about it. They created
bring back the skills of the real quilting. If we can recreate that and show them, hey, this is how they used to do it, but this is how you can do it now. This is how they used to do it. I love learning things from a mindset of, what if you don't have anything but a few items here? Will you still be able to make that what you need? So, like you said, MacGyver.
I know what. I have a coat that my great-grandmother quilted when she was, I think, maybe in her 50s or 60s. So this has been, some years ago. She'd be well over 100 and some years old if she were living. So the coat is very old, but it is all hand-stitched. And it's actually made out of scraps of all of the clothes from everybody in the house. It has a lining, it's got quilted design on it. It's bad. But she made this coat probably back in the 30s or the 40s, and I still have it. So some of those things, just looking at the stitching, the hand, and it's all hand stitched, of course. But looking at some of that stuff, that was the stuff I was taught growing up. One of my grandmothers sewed, my mama was used to sew. So I was around the sewing machine all the time with them, between making clothes and doing quilts. We did all of it. And again, I had grandparents, both sides of my grandparents were living, and both of them had gardens. So I think I am the purple hull shelling queen of the South.
We just pulled purple hull peas up at the garden.
And you know what? To this day, I will not eat them. I'm serious. I do not touch purple hull peas. I eat black-eyed peas, but I would not.
We're gonna grow some more next year. We might even put them out earlier than they went out this year. But yeah, we got a good crop of purple hull peas out of there, out of those rows. Yeah, you gonna eat some. You gonna eat some peas.
No, ma'am. No,
you gonna eat too. I'm gonna cook a pot of purple hull peas and okra. I'm telling you.
But I am not eating purple hull peas. I'm just not. I cannot. Now, if you grow me some black-eyed peas, I'll eat them, but I'm not eating purple hull peas.
Okay, I'm gonna cook purple hull peas and tell you they black-eyed.
I know the difference. I don't eat butter beans. I'm not a bean person unless it's pole beans, green beans. I love snap beans, and I like regular green beans. I like black-eyed peas, and I will eat pinto beans now. But you on your own, when you start talking about crowder peas and pepper hull and all them, you on your own, sister. I can't do it. But I'll eat okra.
I don't mind being on my own with a good bowl of purple hull peas.
Well, look, the okra and tomatoes, they don't stand a chance around me. I want to grow some really good yellow squash. Crookneck yellow squash. I want to grow some squash, some zucchini, eggplant, peppers of any kind, tomatoes of any kind, pretty much. I love okra. I actually now, as an adult, just started eating corn on the cob, believe it or not. Excuse me, and I'm from the country, and we always had it. I just hated it growing up for some reason. But as an adult, I've started eating it. So when you start talking about them beans, if it's not green beans or pole beans, snap beans, I'm done.
Okay. Well, all of those things that you mentioned, we do plan on putting those out in the garden for 2021. We'll, be prepping. So, okay, that's our.
That's my medicine alarm. I'm sorry. It's 8:00. My alarm is set for 8:00. Girl, thank you so much. We on here just rambling now. But thank you so much. I appreciate you coming on the show. Please make sure that if you stayed and you watched the show, that you get the information that's in the comments about how to contact Ms. Johnson for Saturday. If you're not busy, please come out to 12th and Peyton to the Promise Garden. Help out with the getting it cleaned up and getting the flower bed set and volunteer. Bring your kids. It's something for everybody in the family can come out and help with that. She'll love the help and love the company, and y'all are gonna love her when you meet her. I don't think she's ever met a stranger, so you will feel welcomed. You will feel comfortable, if nothing else. But if you don't have anything else going on, if you drive by and you just honk your horn and stop over, if you can make a donation, please visit the website. It's listed in the comments and make a donation. If nothing more, and you can go by, please do that. So thank you all for tuning in. I appreciate everybody that's watching. Thank you every week for tuning in for the Lady Sound to Wonder Lowe. You are loved. You are appreciated. So if nobody else told you this week, I just told you. So have a good rest of. Oh Lord, she got girl. Don't quit that.
Stop it.
We didn't even say how. Stop that.
People had allergies before COVID.
No, that just show you how folks get nervous when folks start coughing. You look at it, jump up and take off running. But anyway, but thank you all for watching. And again, make sure you tune in next Tuesday, 7:00. We're going to be talking about celebrating the holidays during the pandemic. So thanks again for tuning in. This is the Lady Sound to Wonder Lowe. I'm your host. Thank you, my guest, Ms. Marthella Johnson, with no closed doors.
Thank you for having me. It's always a pleasure.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. And we will talk to you all again next week. See you next Tuesday. Good night.
Bye.